Well, hello, friends. My name is Megan Hunter. This is the Colleague for Life podcast, and you are in the Origin Story series. Today, my guest is Montana Lautamus, and we're going to talk about our origin story and a little bit about her origin story. And then we'll wrap up with talking about my favorite questions, which are what makes you a good colleague in life? And what do you appreciate in others that make them a good colleague? So something for you to look forward to. Let's get started. Montana, thanks for being here with me in this beautiful mountainous range in the end of January.
It's beautiful, that's for sure. Thank you for having me.
The fun thing about Montana, what you're not seeing in the background is she has a whole van of tricks. And this is actually how we met. Montana does personal branding, and she was at an event where I desperately needed a headshot. I think mine was 10 years old. And this magical being was here and just knew exactly what to do and how to capture this uncapturable essence of light. And she did the best photo shoot I've ever had.
So thank you. It must have been meant to be then, because I literally just threw that headshot stuff in my car and I was like, nobody asked for it, but I'm just going to bring it just in case. Just in case.
I'm
And
glad you did.
good. Yeah, me too. That's good. Especially hearing that from you. Thank you. That means a lot. I'm so happy we connected. I had no idea when I stepped into that I was going to meet so many wonderful people.
Oh, and let's talk a little bit about the event that we met at.
Yes.
How did you get there in the first place?
I'm from Saskatchewan, and back home, I'm a photographer. I have a studio. I've been working in photography for 15 years, and I actually got a phone call to say that I won a bursary for my business.
Really?
And so a part of this bursary was becoming a part of the Saskatchewan Chamber of Commerce. And that got me to go to the Power Up Summit, where our shared friend, Steve Langer, was speaking. And I had went to the event. There was a gathering the night before, and my sister-in-law's nobody that's just attending the event goes to this. This is for all the speakers and everything. Well, of course I want to go to this event.
I want to meet
The people. And Steve was there, and it was so funny. There was a room full of people, and the few people that knew I won the bursary had talked to me. But Steve and me, he had no idea. And we just instantly connected. And it was story after story for an hour and a half straight. And then he told me he was releasing a book. And he told me that the night before, and I said, I'm not gonna offer him to shoot his book event right now because that would be so weird. Just met you an hour ago. But then the next day, when I saw him speak, I had goosebumps my whole life. It's one of those things that he told me every morning he makes sure he wakes up and he goes for a walk around the block before he starts his day. And I have literally been doing that ever since he said that. And it just changes your whole perspective on the day. And so then he talked about that again the next day. And that's what brought me. And then he talked about his book again. He came down from the stage. I got a good photo of me. If you can get a good photo of me, I'll be amazed. And he was so amazed that I could take a photo of him on stage smiling. Everybody always gets me with my mouth open. Well, you have to time it. It's shooting wildlife.
He loved that.
I didn't actually just thought of that right now. It is literally shooting wildlife. You're waiting for that moment of the smile. And I captured it and I showed him and he's wow. And I will come and shoot your event. If you cover my hotel and travel costs, and I'll come and shoot your event. I said, I really want to start doing traveling photography. Please bring me to your event. And he said, he took a couple weeks and I was so nervous and I was saying, hey, do you still want me to do this? And he ended up bringing me. He's like, you know what? Let's do it. He took a chance on me. And then one of his stories that he says in his speech was about how somebody took a chance on him. So it's just really cool that he took the chance on me. And the connections were just amazing. And Steve, you're going to meet so many great people. And usually I go to events and, I take the photos. And I try really hard to connect with people, but that event was so different. I told Steve, headshot of you. I actually just happened to bring the headshot stuff up. I don't have to, but it's in my car. Are you serious? You should set it up at the event, not for headshots. And he actually didn't even ask me to do them for free. He told me that I could charge for them, and I'm just going to do them. I'm just going to do them. And then I just want people to, if they need a photographer, I'm here.
Oh, and it's, I think that is the magical part of it, is that whole event was a group of people who had a spark moment at some point with Steve, for the most part.
Yeah.
It was his event. And they were all in one room making their own sparks.
Yes.
And their own connections.
He wanted it to be for everyone.
Yeah.
He's a really cool guy.
It was definitely a community event. It was people coming together who had common interests, who wanted to support each other, and who he had made an impact on.
Yeah.
And people who wanted to see him succeed. And because of that, he set the tone where people wanted to lift each other up. They all knew they were selected or there or invited for a reason. And I think that sets the tone of everybody in that room matters.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. I feel like when the people who you interact with, you do your business with, matter so much, it almost feels an event. It's a reunion of sorts. Can I tell you a secret? I guess it's not really going to be sour. I almost didn't make it to that event.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm so glad you did.
Yeah, and one just have to pick up the Coherence Compass to read about, because it has an origin story of how Steve and I, but it was the opening of his book.
I was going to say the most important. Well, the foreword. I don't know if it's the most important, but pretty important.
I was supposed to be doing an all-day training and from Calgary, and of course the event was in Edmonton, and this event went right until, or my training went right until 3:30 p.m. So there was no way I was going to make it to Edmonton for 4:30 at all. And through a series of actual sad misfortune for the people that I was working with at the time, the event was canceled. And I found out about 3 days beforehand, and I was able to just text Steve and be like, hey, I can make it. And I was doing the best I could. I was trying to see if I could do my part remotely and fly to Edmonton and do half day in Calgary. I was jimmy rigging my day. And in the end, everything got canceled. I just feel you were supposed to be there, and that's why that happened. And I had booked the hotel and everything just in case, and I was hanging on to the very, very end, and it worked out.
That's great. I love that. And then we made this connection. Speaking of headshots, you were so enthusiastic, and you made this huge impact on me when you were there. And so I'm okay, I got to get her photos out first. And I was so nervous. I was so nervous because nobody else would see it, but the lighting in there was yellow, and I would have never even thought about it. And I put the photos up, and then I was looking at everyone's headshots that they had on their why was I doing this? It's my own art. But I was looking at everybody's profile photos, and I'm, oh my gosh, I don't know if this photo's as good as this. So got the biggest album out of everyone because I edited your photos 4 different ways. I even put them in Photoshop with different backgrounds and gave black and whites because I was so nervous that I was like, she needs something. Please something, which is so weird. 15 years in photography, and I'm still, because I'm meeting these super important people. I'm not that the people that I don't meet in my small town aren't important, but I feel this was bigger because this is a step in a different direction that I've ever done in photography. So to me, it's these connections aren't only important, but I want to present them with what I've worked very hard for and that value, because I mean, obviously I want to be valued. That's part of being a human. She likes literally one of the normal photos. So I could just edit everybody's normal photos because good.
Excellent. And other color ones as well.
Yeah.
Have found for my headshots that I've had in the past, I tend to be drawn to the black and white ones.
They have more feeling.
They have more feeling, and I tend to know that, and I guess everyone's this, but in real life, I am not a static being. I don't know how to sit still. I don't know how to talk still. And so there's something about a black and white image that feels it
attaches to soul.
A little bit, and it also foreshadows in a way that you don't quite know what you're getting yet. Where if it were full color, I feel there's more interpretation of, I know who this person is. And so it's almost you're walking onto the stage and you can only see the silhouette of the person, and then, surprise, here I am. This is me. So that's why I'm drawn to the black and white, but I will use all of those photos. I hope no. I love them so much.
I love that you describe it that. I find when I describe things, there's always little pieces of things that I've heard over time. And that's how the description comes in. And I think that that's going to stick with me. So that's even when I said it's attached to soul. I saw that in a photo once where it was a post where it was black and white photos are capturing the soul. And now you said the black and white photos because it's not telling the whole story.
And precursor.
And I love that. I love that so much. I'm changing all my images to black and white.
I was so honored to get so many. I think you blew my expectations. I mean, I think the last headshots I'd had were at I had gone to a branding retreat in Edmonton and had headshots as part of the branding package. And I loved them. They were great, but I mean, 10 years. I can't pull that one off anymore. 5 should have been my limit.
It's hard. I'm a photographer and I just changed my headshot on all my cards and everything in the last photo shoot that I had that I was 5 years ago. And I couldn't. Every time I don't any of them. And then what did I do? I went and got this really great headshot at the event that I met Steve at. And I went and got bangs. So now my headshot doesn't have bangs in it.
Okay, so we have explored the origin story of how you got to the event. I'm curious if there's anything you want to share about your personal origin story.
Well, I mean, I will try my best to not go on a tangent, but my origin story, I would say, starts in the mountains, which is cool because I'm here and I'm talking to you. Everything is going hand in hand. So, I mean, let me remember so far back. And for me, the furthest I remember back is when we lived in Cranbrook, British Columbia.
Beautiful.
And I think the biggest part of my origin story was we were always moving. There was not stability in my life as a child. There was stability from my parents loving me.
Yeah.
But when it came to households, we were always moving my whole life. So my whole life to me is a car ride. And I love car rides. If you want to talk to me, be in a car. You want to have a deep conversation, let's be in a car. Anything I've ever forgot comes up in my head. So that also goes hand in hand with, obviously, my photography. Because my whole life, I just remembered staring out my window and everything was so beautiful. Always back and forth. Saskatchewan to Cranbrook to Saskatchewan, living in Saskatchewan and Saskatchewan back to Cranbrook, always traveling when I was younger. And I would always be looking out the windows at just how beautiful everything was because that was the only thing that didn't change. Like it changed, but it didn't move.
The mountain was still there when you passed by it, the same mountain.
But it just looked a little different. And that's the best part. That's the best part about photography. I live in this cute little town and every year I go back to the same spots I've shot photos before and it's different every time. Every time. But it's the same spot. And then people, wherever I went, people are always different. I'll meet different people, but then there are also so many people that are the same. And I find sifting to the people that are the same to find the unique people is like so cool. And that, again, comes hand in hand with photography. Today was a perfect example. I was taking photos here in Banff and it's so hard to make somebody love themselves.
Yeah, it really.
And I feel like as a photographer, people put that pressure onto you. Like, you make me love me. And I'm like, I can capture you and I think you look beautiful, but I can't make you think you look beautiful.
Sure can't.
I do learn a lot of things along the way. Like, for example, the people that got photos today were completely exhausted from traveling. And I'm like, I should have told everybody that they couldn't do photos until like Friday or the Saturday, Sunday. Anyways, so I take these notes about people all the time in my brain and I try to learn about them. Most recently, I just started telling women, if you want to do a photo shoot, you need to plan it 1 week after your period.
Oh.
And I have no shame saying it.
That's actually really smart. Isn't that a peak confidence time?
Yes. It's like the highest point of that's when you feel your best, your skinniest, and so like I had one girl come in today and she's like, I'm getting my period. And I just told her, I said, okay, you're going to get these photos. And if you don't like them, you need to just shut your phone off and don't look at them until a week later and then come back and look at them.
Give them the week 2 test.
Yes. And there's so many times I'll hate photos. I go back and look at them and I'm like, actually, I really like these. Like, what was I thinking? Anyways, so my origin, I feel like this is part of my origin story.
It totally is.
Okay.
You've named a couple of things. If you want to talk to me, take me on a car ride. And then I remember everything I've ever forgotten when I'm driving.
Mm-hmm.
Stood out for me as beautiful pieces of how you come home to yourself when you're in motion.
Mm-hmm. That's a great way to say it.
Oh, well, you said it, but it just reflected it back to you.
Yeah. I guess like just people and nature. It's like I get it all when I'm traveling.
Yeah.
And the mountains are like my whole soul. And I try to make my home, but I'm always being called here. And not mountains anywhere else in the world. I see mountains other places, but these mountains specifically, like I turn that corner from Saskatchewan to where you see that line of mountains and I cry every time. I'm like, why am I crying?
They're beautiful.
I love my home. It's like, I want my family. When it comes to like my origin story presently, like everything I do is for my family. And for faith, I feel like I want to do these things for my family and I have to keep reaching and reaching, but then it's also like I'm separating. So how do I bring them with me? But I met a girl this summer.
Yeah.
And her name is actually Willow. Her name is Willow, and she's a model. And a lot of people, she's an Indigenous model, actually, from the Antarctic. And she comes to my church sometimes, but she models. And the modeling companies move her for entire summers to their country and pay for her stay and her living expenses and pay her to work.
That's amazing.
So they bring her whole family.
Oh, why not?
And I'm like, okay, you just made me realize that this is possible. So now this is why I'm reaching. I'm reaching because like I want my whole family to go.
Yeah, and you can get there.
Yeah.
You can bring them on the adventure.
Yeah.
And show them the beauty that you're capturing.
I think it's so important. Like especially I had a kid young. I had my son young. I was 21. I just bought a 10-year passport like after my son was like 8 and then I found my husband. Like, dang it. Anyways, because you fall in love and you're like, oh, now I just want babies and it's like
so we have to renegotiate.
Yeah, so
yeah.
But like I just think it's so important for kids especially to see the world before they settle down.
Totally.
I just think it makes you a better person and better parent.
I couldn't agree more. I think all of us, and I don't usually put always or blanket statements on things. I think everyone needs to spend some time in a place they are not from and be an outsider.
Yes.
And pick up what feels good, what doesn't feel good.
And like further than like a town away from you.
Oh yeah. I'm talking different country, a place where, yeah, maybe they speak a bit of English, but the primary language is not one that you know very well.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it is one that you know very well. Maybe you're bilingual and you don't really use your second language very often. Go somewhere where you have to use that. And what do you find out about yourself?
Yeah.
Do you have a different version of yourself when you speak a different language? Do you have a different version of yourself when you know no one's going to understand you when you speak?
Mm-hmm.
I think it changes you and it changes how you receive people and how you see the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. 100%. I tell my 13-year-old that all the time because he is so in love. So in love. And I'm like, baby, I will support you and I love who you love and I will be there for you. I said, stay true to yourself. Stay in your morals. Okay? And make sure you're doing the things you like. Don't stop doing the things you like because I was a fixer.
Yeah.
I was a fixer. And I went through so many relationships changing myself for other people. Because I wanted them to be happy.
Yeah.
And as soon as I realized that if I make myself happy, I find this amazing man that like I didn't even know it existed. I mean, we're still humans, so like we argue and stuff, but like crazy,
Yeah.
crazy.
And it's funny how when you're most connected with yourself, you end up connecting with the other people who see you or are more likely to see you
Yes.
when you are who you are and who you want to be in the world. So in summary, our origin story began at a book event. I got to experience the magic of your craft in live time. And I guess something that came to mind when I think about why photography with you felt so different. A little bit about me. I've had a lot of photos taken of me over the years. I used to be a professional cheerleader. So I've been at calendar shoots. I've done photo shoots for random things all over the place. And I love photo shoots. They're great. That was the first time I had been in front of a camera, and having a camera actually that close, then I felt so comfortable and so myself.
That makes me feel really happy.
And I know I showed up at that event in a good space, but there's something about being pet in pet space that not everyone can do. So to me, that was your magic. And it was so fulfilling to be part of that. So thank you from honestly the bottom of my heart for sharing that gift with me in that space. Of course, you're welcome. Okay, I think this is a perfect bridge to the question. Okay, what makes other people good colleagues in life at an event like this where really you're all there for work, but there is an element of human connection, spark that either you see in people or you don't. So what is that difference? What shows up in the people who make good colleagues?
I think like being genuine. I think that people need to genuinely want to see you win in order to be a good colleague.
Yeah.
Like they need to know that maybe they're not going to be first today because that other person might be first, and if they're first, you got to cheer them on genuinely. Like without, what is the word? I just read this in a book. Without bitterness. Even that little sprinkle of bitter, you feel it. Anyone can feel it, even just a little bit. It comes out in tone. Everything's with it. Being a good colleague is letting go of bitterness and knowing that when it's your time to win, that they'll celebrate the same way. And if they don't, that's not hers to carry. My gosh,
That's beautiful. Like a wholeheartedness behind someone's success. Yes, and knowing that their success is proof that anyone can do it. And you're there to celebrate the hard work that someone else put in to show what's possible.
yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. That was beautifully said. It was from the heart and perfect. Yeah. What makes you a good call?
It's a blessing and a curse. Blessing and a curse that I am the ultimate hype bit. To the point of hype that I almost overhype people. They forget that they need to hype themselves. Yeah, so I think that in that sense, like I'm a good colleague. I want to tell you I'm a good colleague, and so I'm trying to avoid saying why I'm a bad colleague. Because I'm always like, I have this thing in me where it's like, I can't just only talk about good things. I have to make sure that I stay humble and say the bad things.
Yeah, I'm not bothered. I feel like we're much better at ripping ourselves down than we are building ourselves up. Yes. And ironically, you are the hype woman who wants to balance it with not hyping yourself.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah,
That's how I'm still good at doing it. It's literally like when I make art. And I always say I can make art for somebody else and it turns out beautiful, but I try to make art for myself. I probably wouldn't even start it.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like that's a whole other topic. But yeah, dig into for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. what motivates us.
Montana, I can't thank you enough for this.
Are willing to share dinner with you in this campsite in January. It was a really special moment to witness, so thank you for letting me in on that today as well.
Thank you for bringing it out of me.
I
love it.
Yeah.
Like the things that are meant to happen, you'll happen.
So you don't miss what's meant for us.
Yep.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Really, it's really. Well, thanks so much. And
Yeah,
thanks for meeting me out at my van. Let me cook you chili on my Coleman grill.
Wouldn't have had it any other way. It was perfect.
Great.
Oh, all right. Okay, friends, that's our episode of Colleagues for Life for tonight. Stay warm, keep well, and until next time, yeah, keep connected.